It was just another quiet Saturday, the kind where the house feels too big and the silence too loud. I was rummaging through the attic, a forgotten corner of our home filled with relics of a life I only half knew, boxes of old photos, forgotten toys, and then this. A simple, leather-bound notebook, its pages yellowed and its cover worn smooth by time. It was my father's, his name elegantly scripted on the inside cover, was a signature I'd seen 1,000 times on birthday cards and permission slips. Yet this felt different. It felt like a secret. With a gentle pull, I opened it. The first page was dated nearly 40 years ago, long before I was even a thought. The ink was faded, but the handwriting was unmistakably his, strong, deliberate, full of character. It read, "Day 1, a new beginning. The city is bigger than I ever imagined, and the dream feels just as far. But I have a promise to keep. A promise." I never knew my dad as a dreamer who wrote in journals. He was just Dad, the steady, quiet man who fixed things around the house and always had a story at dinner time. Who was this young man, full of hopes and fears, whose words I was now holding? As I turned the pages, the attic around me seemed to fade away. I was transported back in time, seeing the world through his eyes. The factory is loud. One entry read, "The work is hard on the hands, but it's honest. Every drop of sweat is a brick for the foundation of a home I haven't built yet, a home for a family I hope to have." I could almost feel the grit and the exhaustion in his words. I saw him, young and determined, working under harsh factory lights, his face smudged with grease, his gaze fixed on a future he was building with his bare hands. Another entry, a few years later, spoke of a different kind of struggle. "The business isn't taking off as I'd hoped. The nights are long spent staring at numbers that don't add up. There are days I want to give up, to just pack it all in." But then I look at her picture, and I remember why I started this. He was talking about my mother. I found a faded photograph tucked between the pages, a young woman with a radiant smile, the same smile I'd known my whole life. His love for her wasn't just a story he told. It was the fuel that kept his engine running when it was sputtering on fumes. The flashbacks weren't just about hardship. There were moments of pure, unadulterated joy. She said yes. "Today, I feel like I can conquer the world. The sun has never shone brighter." I could feel the elation lifting off the page, the sheer happiness of a man who had found his person. Then, another entry. Years later, the handwriting a little more rushed, more excited. "He's here, my son." Holding him for the first time, it changes everything. All the struggles, all the long nights, they all make sense now. This is what it was all for. He was writing about me. Me, a wave of emotion washed over me, so powerful it took my breath away. I saw him not just as my father, but as a man navigating the complexities of life. I saw him sacrificing his own small comforts, a new coat, a weekend off, to save for my first bicycle, for my college fund. He wants to learn the guitar, one entry noted. It's an expense we can't really afford, but his eyes lit up when he saw it in the shop window. I'll work a few extra shifts. His happiness is worth more than any sleep I might lose. I remembered that guitar. I remembered thinking it just magically appeared one Christmas. I never knew the story behind it. I never knew the cost. The journal was a mosaic of his life, a testament to his quiet strength. He never boasted about his sacrifices. He never complained about the dreams he had to set aside so that mine could take flight. He simply did what he had to do, with love as his guide and our future as his destination. Each handwritten line was a piece of the puzzle that was his life and my life. It was a story of resilience, of unwavering love, and of the silent promises a father makes to his family. I read about the small business he started, the one that eventually provided for us. He wrote about the fear of failure, the sleepless nights worrying about making payroll, the quiet pride of seeing it grow brick by brick, customer by customer. He didn't build an empire. He built a life. He built our life. And he did it with a quiet dignity that I had always taken for granted. He was my hero, not for one grand gesture, but for a million small, unseen acts of love and sacrifice. The final entry was from just a few years ago. The handwriting was a little shakier, but the heart behind it was as strong as ever. I look at my son now, a man grown, and I see a future I could only dream of. I hope I've given him a good foundation. I hope he knows he is loved. My work is done. The future is his. Tears streamed down my face, blurring the ink on the page. All those years I thought I knew him. But I only knew the finished product, the strong oak tree, not the struggling sapling that weathered every storm to grow so tall. Closing the notebook, I felt a profound sense of connection, a deeper understanding of the man who raised me. The dusty attic no longer felt empty. It felt sacred, filled with the echoes of his journey. Every sacrifice he made wasn't a loss, it was an investment in me. Every hard day he endured built the path for the easier days I would enjoy. His struggles weren't just his own, they were the building blocks of my future. The notebook wasn't just a collection of old memories, it was a map of love, a blueprint of a life lived for others. It was the greatest lesson he ever taught me, without ever saying a word. Every sacrifice builds a future. His built mine. Thank you for joining me on this journey. If this story touched your heart, please consider liking this video and subscribing to the channel for more stories about life, love, and the legacies we leave behind. Until next time.